Hey guys, welcome. Let's have some conversation, please, about the Sagittarius full moon that's happening on the 26th of May, 2021. This moon rolls in at 6:17 Central Time. It happens at 5 degrees Sagittarius. And so we know that a full moon is when the sun and moon are in opposition, right? This is also a lunar eclipse. And so we are having that moment of the small affecting the big, right? And so the key here is to really pay attention to the small details. Now, this is a Sagittarius full moon, right? And the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and it just so happens that Jupiter is at the apex of a T-square with the sun and moon at this full moon, coming in at about 1 degree of Pisces. So let's talk about what that means, right? First of all, Sagittarius is the energy of higher thought, higher learning, higher education, philosophy, right? It's how we connect ourselves to ideas and concepts and abstractions, right? How we put ourselves into the mix when it comes to the bigger picture, right? Like God, philosophy, things like that, right? So, okay. So Sagittarius is like happy, optimistic energy, right? It's Jovian energy. And the thing is, Jupiter right now is in Pisces, right? So that puts Jupiter at kind of a disadvantage. However, there are many wonderful things about Jupiter being in Pisces, right? It gives us access to the depths, right? It allows us to pull in power from our own subconscious and create from that beautiful, rich, symbolic experience that is quite often better felt than spoken, right? So here's the key. Sagittarian energy is experiential, right? That means you can't really tell a Sagittarius where they fit in the mix or what to believe. They must base their final conclusions on their own experience, which is a beautiful thing, right? This is why they're great travelers, not because they feel the need to go, right? That's not their compulsion. Their compulsion is to learn, to experience and explore and discover. So Sagittarians are never, look at that, Sagittarians are never bored, they're never boring. And they are the first to leave a party when it gets stale, just FYI. Now, that does not mean that they don't have flights of fancy, right? And especially with Jupiter in Pisces right now, there's a lot of opportunity here because Saturn has some very big placements as well as this full moon happens, right? So Saturn is trining the North Node and sextiling Chiron, and of course squaring Uranus. Neptune also has some really serious involvement, which is great because Jupiter is in Pisces, right? So Neptune is squaring Mercury and Venus, right? Our communications and our feelings of beauty, and training Mars, right? The way that we move through the world. So contemplate how you can work on your own growth and expansion, right, versus your own confusion, right? This moon is going to offer opportunities for clarity, as do all full moons. But this is that experiential clarity, right? And it has a lot to do with your destiny and being in creation and awareness of your own boundaries with that Saturn involvement. So I would say, honestly, the keys to this full moon are really being in openness when it comes to things like your beliefs, your emotions, your perspectives, your speech and how you are communicating, right? Your interpretations of the truth versus illusions, right? And really important, knowing what you know, right? Knowing what you know and feeling it in your body, right? Which is your beautiful antenna in this world. And the other real beautiful thing about this full moon is it offers you the opportunity to take a risk, to go on an adventure, right? Sagittarians love adventures. And so, you know, if you see a thing you want to do, come across a thing you want to learn, find a place you want to go that you've never been, now is the time. So the other thing is the North Node is at 10 Gemini, right? So that is also opposing this moon. So there's a balance, an opportunity to balance your fate with the fullness of your experience. And that's an opportunity that doesn't come around very often. And the other thing is with this eclipse, again, with the small affecting the big, don't be surprised if a few secrets come to light, things you didn't know that just kind of come across your experience. Big deals, right? So don't forget that we have Pluto in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde, Mercury is getting ready to go retrograde during this moon cycle, and Venus will move into Cancer. And the next new moon that we have is on the 10th of June, and will be at 19 Gemini. So please be paying attention, be mindful. Okay, that one does not want to come out. Of what's going on around you, and really, really dig into your experience of your life right now. What do you want to be embodying? What lessons, what opportunities for growth and expansion are being illuminated, right? This is important. So the other thing is pay close attention to this moon. If you have placements in like early Sag, Pisces, Gemini, or Virgo, you're going to feel this as perhaps that dynamic tension, right? That's square energy. And if you have early fire placements, you are going to feel this as very supportive new full moon. So just kind of be mindful of your own chart energies, because, okay, that always has something to do with what's going on, right, personally for you. So let's talk here. So we've got the Star and we've got Death. All right, now we had the Death card, I think in the weekly What's Up, right? So Death is about transitions, right? And the Star is about wish fulfillment. The Star is the card of Aquarius. And we have that beautiful Aquarian energy, Saturn doing all of his little cha-cha-cha magic. So this is hope. This is optimism, right? The Star comes after the Tower. So in all of the ways that you have had to experience things as falling apart, right? Now you get to witness the transformation of those pieces. This is such a beautiful card. You get to witness your own rebuilding, right? When we talked about having that openness when it comes to your beliefs, your emotions, right? Your concept of truth versus illusion. And sometimes the way that things fall apart is simply an opportunity to rebuild, right? It's part of our transformation process. And how we feel and witness and hold on to that as resistance creates our experience, right? So perhaps this Sagittarius full moon is offering you a new way, right, to create your own experience, right? A way to release your resistance and move towards something beautiful, perhaps something you didn't even expect. We've got the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. So again, we of course know that aces are universal gifts. They have to be welcomed, received with gratitude, and put into action, right? We cannot hold on to those aces. They have to be put into action. So swords are about ideas, concepts, right? We talked about being open to your beliefs, being open to new ways to experience a perspective, right? And this Queen of Pentacles, she is that embodiment, right? That embodiment of that earth energy. And so we've got Saturn square Taurus, we have Pluto sextiling Neptune at the time of this new moon. So there is a lot of opportunity to feel in to your ways of embodying, right? Sagittarius energy is all about feeling in to your experience and really working on those new ideas, right? Brought forth as we release those concepts, those ideas, those experiences of that tower energy, and we move into that star energy, that next rebuilding, that hope, that optimism, that newness, right? That magic. As we transform our experiences just by shifting our ideas, we really get to be in that embodiment, that fullness, in this 3D realm where we have our experiences, right? Where we live in relation to those higher ideas. Now, let's talk about this as a beautiful card of release. We've got the King of Swords. Again, swords being about release, swords being about ideas, right? And this full moon being about ideas, releasing. So we have the Five of Cups here. Now, the key to the Five of Cups, right? We know that we have 3 spilled cups in the foreground and 2 full cups behind this figure. And so we're focusing on, we're witnessing, we're looking at, our attention is on these spilled cups, right? These emptied, spilled, wasted cups. And yet the Two of Cups, which is the cup of divine union, the cup of love, the cup of abundant emotional contentment and happiness, is always behind you. Simply by shifting your focus, by changing your the locus of your attention, all you have to do is find that place where those cups exist. They always exist, right? And as Jupiter is in Pisces, right, where are we feeling versus where are we looking? The King of Swords is that attention, that focus, that, what are we believing? What story are we telling? As opposed to where am I feeling, right? So perhaps sometimes all it takes is that shift in perspective, that shift in what you're experiencing versus what you're believing, right? Those are huge distinctions. What your experience is versus what you're believing you're experiencing. It is very... It's a challenging thing to witness that your story about your experience shapes your experience. But once you experience that, you have the opportunity to shift and change it, transforming your entire reality, basically. Here we have Temperance and the Star again. Now, look, if you don't pay attention to this one, then I don't know what to tell you. So we have Temperance, which is the card of Sagittarius, right? Temperance being all about how we are willing to volley, right? We are willing to allow for transformation. And allowing for transformation is as big a deal as the transformation itself. Temperance is the way in which we're able to adapt. We're able to reshape, reconform, recombine, right? And in this period of not just eclipse season, but retrograde season, the ways that we are willing to shape our reality by assessing and reassessing, by being in accurate and honest assessment and then reassessment, of being willing to take stock of what's going on and then adapt and rebuild, right? What do we believe? How can I change that belief if it's not serving me? What am I feeling? How can I change that belief? How can I recombine, recalibrate that belief? What is my perspective, and how can I reshape that perspective if it's not working for me? What story am I telling, and how can I retell it if it's not working for me? All of those things, right, create your experience through your manifestations in terms of truth versus illusion. Tell yourself you're happy, and you are. Tell yourself you're miserable, and you are. You're always right. What are you telling? So perhaps the way we get from cataclysm to joy is simply by telling a different story, right? And embodying a different energy, by releasing the crap you don't need, by releasing your story about what you don't have, and instead looking at what you do have, right? You have that power, by the way. It's always within you, always, especially at this Sagittarius new moon, right? The Witness. Shall we check out the Witness? She's quite lovely. Yeah, this is really a time to shape your destiny, to shift your story, right? Now is the time to tell that new story. All right, the Witness. The Witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we're able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. Absolutely, right? When we can be present for someone else's difficulties with stillness, then we are truly able to hear them and give better advice. Sometimes we can be so still that we are a mirror for the other. Then, through our presence, they receive their own answer. The Witness that has been by your side all along is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the door, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way. Witness creation unfolding before you. Change reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. Acknowledge your preconceptions, ideas, and feelings about the situations you are in, but resist the urge to change it. Do not fall back into your controlling patterns. Instead, take a few breaths and connect with the joy of not having to perform. Hold space for the world to keep spinning on its own, right? So remembering that everything is always perfect, that everything is energy, right? Everything is energy, and it's here for you. And all of these energies are only as powerful as your resistance to them, right? And any energy is only as powerful as your resistance to the experience of it. And the way to cut through the confusion and get to your own growth and expansion is simply to change your relationship to the story that you're telling, and to be open about the way you're witnessing that energy, right? Dig into that star energy and let go, for Pete's sake, of whatever story you're telling about these cups. Something wonderful is waiting. This is all about divine energy here. This is all about divine giftedness. We literally have over half of the cards in this reading are about divine gifts. In fact, all of them are. So isn't everything a gift from the divine? So please be mindful of your personal chart energy. Again, if you're feeling this as a challenging time, consider if you have an early Sag, Pisces, Gemini, or Virgo placement that is creating an opportunity for you to feel in to the energy and utilize it. And if you have an early fire placement, so Sag or Aries or Leo, the universe is giving you a little boost, a little support. So find it, utilize it, and we'll talk about Mercury retrograde in a few days, guys. So really take a look around. Keep your eyes wide open. Right? Check out the small things because they're the big ones. Big blessings. Happy full moon.